Hello, welcome to my reselling channel, Flippin' Hippos. I'm Star. Today is Monday, so it's time for a highlight reel. I feel like our sales are kind of climbing out of the summer slowdown ditch that we found ourselves slowly descending into as the summer carried on, and now I feel like we're ascending our way out of it. I did have sales on all 7 platforms. I had more sales than last week, so things are definitely improving. What was a nice surprise, most mornings this week I would wake up to double the sales than I had when I went to bed. It's a good surprise to wake up to, but then it's like, oh no, now we have all these extra sales and we got to pull all the stuff and get it ready for shipping before Keith leaves for work. But it's a good stress to have, let me tell you. I love waking up to sales. I love when I'm selling consistently. I don't like the slow times. There's a lot of stuff that you can do during the slow times. I've done a ton of videos on that. I'll put a couple up at the end that you can watch at your leisure if you so choose. But I really feel like we're on the upswing. We should all be listing and preparing for Q4 at this point. Absolutely. Get all the rest of your summer stuff and your back to school stuff up now, and then move on to your winter items. I've been moving a lot of my older long sleeve shirts and sweaters over to Vented, and they're selling. So people are kind of looking ahead too. And big box stores are starting to put that kind of stuff out. You've probably heard me say this before, but always look at what the stores are doing as far as what season it is. Halloween stuff is already in stores. I love it. So we should be putting Halloween stuff in, and they're clearancing out their summer items and they're adding their winter items. So we should all be doing the same, and hopefully everybody's on the upswing. You can let me know down in the comments if you'd like to share how your sales are doing and if you feel like they're getting better already. That said, I have pulled out just the highlights of the week. I didn't pull out every single sale. You can always assume that a lot of the boring pays my bills, literally. In fact, I think last week's highlight thumbnail said something to the effect of the bills don't care if it's exciting. Boring pays my bills, but you can always assume every highlight reel, I sold all of those bread and butter items. I sold all of those volume items. I like to pull out items that are different to show you, whether it's because it's a boatload, an exciting, different sale for me, has a teaching moment for you, or just something we should all be on the lookout for. So let's start with Depop. I had a couple sales. Depop is steady but slow for me. I'll get anywhere from 3 to 8 a week, maybe. This week I sold some kids' pants, a t-shirt, and a teddy bear. And keep in mind that I do use Depop, Vinted, and whatnot to clearance out old items. So at this point, if it's from 2024 and earlier or older than that, I'm putting them on those 3 platforms at 50% of what I originally wanted on eBay. Vinted and Depop do not have any fees for sellers, so that's good. And it's moving out some stale inventory and making room for new. So here's some Vinted. You can see there's a sweater, long sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt. That one's a kid's. I started moving some of my older kids stuff over too, keeping in mind that it's back to school time. You can see here, and there's some that are completed. So it was a pretty good week on Vinted. I believe they're still doing the free shipping, which helps immensely. I had 3 on Whatnot. One buyer bought 2 pairs of boys' jeans in a bundle because, again, I think it's back to school. So get those, get your new, if you have back to school items, get the new stuff listed. Get your current items up and tweak the titles and make them more desirable. And if it's old, toss it on Vinted or Depop at a discount. It'll move. And this alligator sold on Whatnot. He is really cool. He's pretty big, 24 inches, so 2 feet long, and very realistic looking. At one time, he would walk and his tail would move, and I think his mouth would move, and he would make noises. He does not work anymore. That was disclosed in the listing. I've been trying to sell him. I even tried $3 in a whatnot sale, and he just didn't go. But somebody wanted him, and they bought him. I believe it was like $5. So, see you later, alligator. Bye. You've been around since, I think, yeah, I have it here. He's been around since 2024, and he didn't work, so he needs to go. And he did. Just a couple of sales on Mercari this week. It's been a slow week on Mercari. Comic book and a pair of earrings. Okay, let's move on to Etsy. I sold a DVD, Lady in the Water. This is actually one of my least favorite M. Night Shyamalan's. It was good, though. There's not really a bad, well, maybe the Shyamalan with Marky Mark. I can't even remember the name of the movie. But anyway, this is a decent movie. I just don't like it that much. So this was from my DVD collection that I cleaned out earlier this year. Or last year, late last year. Sold for $12. Vintage nightgown. Sold for $28. This is Granada. You can almost always tell when you have a vintage piece just by the tags. This is a statement necklace, vintage, bib, very 50s and 60s coded. $28 there. And then I wanted to show you, these are so cute. They're two little magnets, and one is a dog bone and one is a little dog. $16 for the two. And then last week, I believe I showed you this one on Poshmark, the vintage Doberman magnet that sold for $7 on Poshmark. So my profit was like right around $5. But the two here that sold for $16 and this Doberman all came together in one bag for, I want to say it was $1, but it might have been less. I'd have to go back to the haul video where I did this specific haul from the church sale. But I do know all the dog magnets were in one bag. And it may have been $1 for the whole bag or less. So that was a nice, fast return on my investment. That was under a month. Little magnets. They were in with the jewelry too. So I always go through the jewelry, and whenever I find anything unique like this, I'm going to grab it. Always. Wait until you see what I got from the 2 bag sales I went to. I'll be back here Friday live at 3 p.m. with a huge haul. What I managed to cram into one bag is still amazing to me. It blows my mind. I'll see you Friday. Come and watch. All right, we're going to move on. We already did, well, kind of. We showed you that from last week. But we'll move on to Poshmark. I sold a Madewell sweater dress. Smart sale. Took a $14 offer. I had it up for $20. The lowest I would take is $14. The smart sale worked. Boom, bada bing. We got a sale. If you need to learn about smart sell, let me know. I can do a video on it. I like it a lot. I sold these 4 Beanie Baby lizards for $15. This was also on the smart sale. And, you know, Beanie Babies, they're Beanie Babies. And sometimes I end up with them. It happens. They come in lots, or longtime viewers may remember the time I said, I'm going to try a box of plush from Goodwill Blue Box. And it was like 10 pounds of Beanie Babies. Anyway, I lotted them all up and sold them anyway because, you know, I had them. And so I put the lizards together just kind of like that. Like if you ever end up with Beanie Babies or, you know, any of the undesirable plush, lot them together. Farm animals, ocean animals, lizards. People will buy them. Next, we have some Mother Superior jeans. This is a great brand you always want to be on the lookout for. I normally start them around $80. And I usually take offers of $65 to $75. This was a pair I had delisted and relisted last week. And because I was delisting, relisting them, and they were a little older, I put them up for just a little bit less money on Poshmark and was able to take an offer on the smart sale of $52, which I'm completely happy with for this brand. It's nice when you can get the 60 or 70, but you're not always going to get that. That's the same thing with anything. I always price the high end, and sometimes it sells for that, and sometimes I take offers. This has been sitting around for about a year and a half, so I'm a little more flexible on taking offers. Had I just listed this pair, a couple months ago, no, I would have wanted more, but you have to kind of be flexible when things sit around. And a pair of Speedo brown swim trunks for $16. I'm happy with that. This came out of one of my big bulk buys. And I believe these came out of a thread, by the way. I don't find brands like this in the wild in Pittsburgh. I really don't. I find tons of mall brands, bread and butter brands, the high-end luxury. It's even hard to find Madewell around here. There's a lot of Page, I guess, but just these really good brands I typically only get when I do the bulk buys or thread up boxes. We're going to move over to eBay now. This is just like a donut. It's not even, I don't even know if it's really, it has no bail or no way to hook it to a bracelet or a necklace, but it is a white jade piece of thing. So I just listed it as a pendant. And it sold for $18. That's awesome. This is half of a pair of pajamas. So the brand is Night Night Monkey Monkey, which is really fun to say. Night Night Monkey Monkey. At the Goodwill, 99 cents. Originally had been a 2-piece set. I figured that when I pulled it off the rack. I'm like, this looks like part of a pajama set. But I'm going to go ahead and just buy the top, 99 cents, and see if I can just sell the top. And I did for $15 plus 6 shipping. Could be the time of year it is. It could just be that it's cute. Maybe somebody has black leggings or lounge pants they're going to wear it with. But I don't really shy away from listing half of a pajama set. I always find just the tops or just the bottoms at the Goodwill. And when it's 99 cents, especially when it's something cute and unique like this. I mean, this is just a very unique pajama top. A Nike golf polo shirt, a men's with a really nice print. So if you have like the plain solid colored Nike polos anymore, they're going to go for like $12 to $18, maybe $20 if you have a really big size. But if you find these really nice original prints or these really nice graphics, you can list them for more. You can see this buyer paid $28.87 plus 7 shipping. So look for the prints. Style buys, my friends. I am definitely doing more and more style buying. I still look for the good brands. Obviously, I'm never going to pass up on a good brand. But as far as what an item looks like, if it's cute, if it's plus size, I'm doing a lot more of that. And again, if you want to see all the really great stuff, I managed to stick into one bag. Come back on Friday at 3 p.m. live haul, and I will show you a bunch of style buys. Shore Shapes tropical one-piece swimsuit, new with tags. This is the good brand. I've only ever seen it once. Came out of a bulk buy for me. I've never seen it again. If I did, I would snatch it up. This sold for $34.99 plus almost 7 shipping. Shore Shapes. And then I had a buyer take advantage of the sale I do every weekend from Friday to Sunday. I do a buy 2 or more and get 50% off. And her phone number is like, if I scroll up just a tiny bit, you can see the buyer's phone number. So I can't scroll up to show you her original total because I don't want to blast her phone number on the internet. But we can take her discount here that you see and times it by 2, and you can see her original order was $82.84. She got a discount and she paid for shipping, so her total was $71.03. And I am fine with that for 4 pieces of jewelry. I am absolutely fine if people want to buy 2 items and get 50% off. In fact, I cannot wait until the bulk discounts is available to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go back and watch my seller scoop video from over the weekend. eBay is rolling out bulk discounts slowly, a little bit at a time, to sellers as an option to do buys like this or sales like this to your buyers. So she got a caboochin gold tone cuff bracelet, a nice beautiful bib bracelet necklace there, another necklace, and this antique cuff. I mean, it was a lot of really beautiful jewelry, and I'm happy to get rid of 4 pieces and make my $52. Good. She's happy and I'm happy. Boston Proper, this was a new to me brand that came in the 250 pounds I bought from my friend Lori that you heard nonstop about last year as I was unboxing it. There were 2 Boston Proper tank tops in that lot, and now they've both sold. And this is a brand I would pick up again if I ever found it. Plus, this is just so stinking cute. This is so cute. The animal print with the floral print with the lace. I don't know. This is just the cutest, darlingest tank top. And if I was a size medium, I may have kept it for myself. So cute. All right. And last but not least, we're going to talk about these Livy Active shorts. I found these for $1. Never heard of the brand. I'm going to try them because they're size 14, 16. Sold for 18 bucks. So, you know, I'm doing a lot of new things this year. I told you guys I'm starting to look at scarves and bras and swimsuits and more plus size women's shirts. And I've been looking at activewear, kind of branching out. Remember when I used to only do jeans and blush? Well, now with the help of AI, I can easily determine what something is and style keywords and learn at a pace that is much faster than doing tons of research. And so I'm more willing to try new things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything you saw in this video in particular, or reselling in general, let me know in the comments. I do answer everyone. I do get behind. I think I'm behind right now. I will answer you. I promise. Sometimes it just takes me a little while because life keeps happening. Life keeps lifing over here and getting in the way of my work. Life is getting in the way. But just leave your comments. I'll get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button because it feeds my hungry hippos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.